Welcome back to Pell's Fundamentals on YouTube. More videos like this on our channel. The sources are linked below. Let's jump right into your Faroe Islands news report for January 17, 2025. We'll kick things off with a look at today's weather and what you can expect over the next few days.
Right now, strong westerly winds are blowing across the islands at 18 to 23 meters per second. That's a pretty strong wind. But it should decrease to a fresh breeze of 8 to 13 meters per second by this afternoon. Later today, those winds will die down even more, shifting to light southerly breezes under 5 meters per second. You can also expect overcast skies with some occasional drizzle throughout the day.
All right, so starting out blustery, but calming down as the day goes on. What should we expect as we head into the evening and the weekend?
Well, this evening, the winds will pick up again, shifting to an easterly direction and reaching a fresh breeze of 8 to 13 meters per second. We might even see gusts up to 15 meters per second. As we move into the night, the wind will shift yet again, this time coming from a westerly direction and increasing to a fresh gale of 10 to 15 meters per second with potential gusts up to 18 meters per second. So a bit of a windy night ahead. Along with the wind, you can anticipate overcast skies and rain, with temperatures between 6 to 11 degrees Celsius.
Definitely sounds like a night to stay cozy indoors. And what about Friday? Will we see any improvement in the weather?
Unfortunately, it looks like the blustery weather will continue into Friday morning. Expect a fresh gale to a strong gale from the southeast, ranging from 10 to 15 meters per second, with gusts possibly reaching up to 18 meters per second. You'll also be dealing with overcast skies, heavy rain, and maybe even some fog. Temperatures will remain between 6 to 9 degrees Celsius.
Not exactly ideal conditions for outdoor activities. What's the outlook for the rest of Friday?
Friday afternoon. The wind will decrease slightly, but those strong gales from the southeast will persist, hovering between 10 to 15 meters per second. The forecast shows continuing overcast skies and persistent rain, with temperatures remaining between 6 and 9 degrees Celsius.
So it looks like a rather wet and windy end to the week for the Faroe Islands. What's causing all of this unsettled weather?
We can blame a low-pressure system approaching from the west. Currently, it's at 981 hectopascals. That's a pretty low pressure, indicating some strong winds. And it's expected to pass just north of the Faroe Islands on Friday, bringing with it southerly winds and more rain. And to add to the mix, we have another low-pressure system at around 1,000 hectopascals, also approaching from the west, which is predicted to pass south of the islands this weekend.
So a double whammy of low-pressure systems. Does this mean we can expect more of the same unsettled weather into the weekend and beyond?
It does look that way. The combination of these two low-pressure systems will likely bring fluctuating weather patterns,
Yeah.
including wind and rain through weekend and possibly into next week as well.
All right, so perhaps a good weekend to catch up on indoor projects. Now let's move on to some local news. First up, we'll take a look at what's been happening in Faroe Islands politics.
The issue of Greenland's potential purchase by the U.S. has resurfaced in the news. A recent poll conducted in the U.S. by Suffolk University in Boston and USA Today revealed that public opinion is divided on this issue. A slight majority, 53.3%, are against the idea.
So a narrow majority against it, but certainly not a landslide. Are there any particular groups who are more likely to support or oppose the purchase?
The poll revealed a stark difference in opinions along party lines. 86% of Democrats disapprove of the purchase, while only 21% of Republicans share that view.
That's a significant difference in viewpoints. What has the reaction been like in Greenland?
Greenland's Prime Minister, Knut Bjørnstad, has spoken out on this issue, stating that Greenland wants to be part of the Western world and is looking to increase cooperation with the U.S. He also emphasized that Greenland's security is tied to the U.S.
Some strong opinions being voiced on both sides of this issue. Now let's shift gears and take a look at some other local news. It seems like there's been quite a bit happening online.
There have been reports of a fake social media profile pretending to be Prime Minister Knut Bjørnstad. The profile has been spreading misinformation about the U.S. and Greenland. The Greenlandic government has issued a statement confirming that it is not a legitimate profile belonging to Bjørnstad.
I imagine that's causing some confusion and concern. Speaking of misinformation, it seems like the local newspaper, Socialren, has had a bit of a mishap.
Yes, there have been reports of a printing error in today's edition of Socialren. No details on the specific error have been released yet, but it's certainly generating some buzz.
And in other news, it looks like the Postal Service is looking for fresh leadership.
That's right. The search for a new director for Posta, the Postal Service, is ongoing.
I imagine they'll have their work cut out for them, finding the right candidate to lead the Postal Service into the future. Now, for a bit of heartwarming news, It seems like some local school children had a very special day.
Some lucky school children were treated to a special screening of an Oscar-nominated animated film. There haven't been any details released about the specific film or the school involved, but it sounds like a wonderful opportunity for them to experience the magic of cinema.
And on a slightly less cheerful note,
Yeah.
it seems like those hoping to enter the Faroes housing market might be facing some challenges.
House prices continued to climb throughout 2024, and unfortunately for those hoping for a dip, experts are predicting that this trend will continue into 2025. This continued growth is likely fueled by factors like limited housing supply and growing demand, potentially making it even tougher for you to enter the market. It's worth considering how this trend might impact your future plans.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind for anyone looking to buy a home here in the Faroe Islands. Well, that brings us to the end of part 1 of our Faroe Islands news report for January 17th, 2025. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be covering more local news and events.
We left off talking about the Faroes housing market.
Right.
And while those rising prices are certainly making things challenging for buyers,
There is some good news for those already in the market.
so a glimmer of hope for homeowners. Tell me more.
Interest rates on mortgages are expected to remain relatively stable throughout 2025. This could provide some relief for existing homeowners and those considering refinancing.
That's definitely a positive development in the midst of these rising housing costs. Now let's switch gears and delve into some social news. It looks like there's a bit of a buzz surrounding a recent social media post.
There's been a lot of talk online about a photo shared on social media featuring a group of local musicians performing at a popular cafe in Tórshavn.
What's so special about this particular photo?
Well, it seems the photo captured a surprise appearance by a well-known Faroe singer who joined the band on stage for an impromptu performance.
Sounds like a magical moment for those lucky enough to be there.
Speaking of special events, it looks like something exciting is happening for young film enthusiasts here in the Faroe Islands.
A youth film festival is scheduled to take place in Tórshavn next month, showcasing short films. Created by young filmmakers from across the islands, the festival aims to promote creativity and storytelling among young people.
That's fantastic. It sounds like a wonderful opportunity for these budding filmmakers to share their work and connect with other creatives. It's great to see initiatives like this fostering artistic expression in the community. Now let's turn our attention to health news. There have been some developments regarding healthcare services here in the Faroe Islands.
The government has announced plans to invest in expanding telehealth services, allowing patients in remote areas to access medical consultations and healthcare advice remotely.
This seems like a really positive step towards ensuring equitable access to healthcare for everyone in the Faroe Islands, regardless of their location.
Exactly. It could be particularly beneficial for those living in more remote areas who might otherwise face challenges in accessing specialist care.
Speaking of remote areas, let's move on to transportation news. It seems there have been some updates regarding ferry services.
There have been some recent adjustments to the ferry schedules, connecting some of the more remote islands. These adjustments are intended to better accommodate the needs of the local communities and improve transportation links.
Transportation is so vital for connecting these island communities. Now shifting gears to the world of sports. It seems like the Faroe Islands national football team has some exciting news to celebrate.
Yes, the Faroe Islands national football team has secured a spot in the qualifying rounds for a major international tournament. This is a significant achievement for the team and a source of national pride.
It's always thrilling to see our national team compete on the international stage. It's sure to be a captivating experience for both the players and the fans.
Absolutely. And speaking of captivating, we have some news from the local police blotter that might raise a few eyebrows.
Oh, this sounds intriguing. What have the police been up to?
There's been a report of an unusual theft in Tórshavn. It seems someone has stolen a life-size statue of a puffin from a local souvenir shop.
Now that's a story you don't hear every day. I wonder what the motive could be behind such a peculiar crime.
It's certainly a head-scratcher. Perhaps it was an elaborate prank. Or maybe the thief just really loves puffins. The police are currently investigating the matter.
Well, hopefully they can crack this case and reunite the puffin statue with its rightful owner. It sounds like it's been a busy day for the police.
It has. They've also issued a warning to motorists about icy road conditions in certain areas, urging drivers to exercise caution and reduce their speed.
A wise reminder as we head into the colder months. It's always important to prioritize safety on the roads.
And with that reminder to stay safe on those winter roads, we come to the end of your Faroe Islands news report.
For January 17, 2025. We've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from stormy weather and political intrigue to heartwarming moments and soaring house prices.
We heard about a fake social media profile causing a stir, a printing error leaving readers puzzled,
Yeah.
and a life-size puffin statue going missing.
A life-size puffin statue. Oh, my goodness.
We learned about the search for a new director for the Postal Service, some lucky school children who enjoyed a special film screening, and a youth film festival coming up next month. We also discussed the expansion of telehealth services, adjustments to ferry schedules,
Yeah.
and the Faroe Islands national football team qualifying for a major tournament.
Very exciting.
Don't forget to check out the links below for more details on all the stories we've discussed.
I'll be sure to do that.
It's all from us this time.
Thanks for joining us for your Faroe Islands news update.
Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.
All right, everyone, take care.